Save today at Room to Room's President's Day sale. 55% off furniture and mattresses, 20% off accessories, and 24-month special financing. The time to act is now.
Room to Room Tupelo, where we know there's no place like your home.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Instantly on time.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live.
Okay, well, now I'm going to do that here. Can I do that in here a second? Awesome. Well, hey there, Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon here, coming to you from Amory this evening. Kind of a special evening here in Amory as they're opening up the softball and the baseball stadiums, of course, devastated by the tornado back in 2013. And we're going to get a sneak peek there on the field here in just a second as we walk and talk about our forecast here in the Room to Room Weather Center. We've been talking all week long about some storm chances. That is one of our headlines that we're going to contend with, I think, as we go into and through this evening. As we look again at that forecast for tonight, continuing to again show those mild temperatures that will continue. Hey, y'all doing all right? Hey, we're going to look at that field here in a second. I can't wait to see it. It's a beautiful evening here in the Amory area to be able to experience this as well. Also looking at probably a busy weekend with those storms. Now, listen, we're not talking big tornado, possible sort of weather. Instead, we're thinking it's not impossible. We could have some stronger thunderstorms in the northern part of the state. More on that coming up here in a couple of minutes. And then, again, in general, we're looking at the opening of the facilities here in Amory. And so I'm going to give you a glimpse of that. Hey, I'm doing very well. Y'all doing good? Great. I can't wait to see it. Well, I guess you kind of see it back there behind me here in a second. Okay, so let's kind of get things on rolling. One of the big stories, again, looking over the next couple of days is going to be that storm chance by the weekend, in particular Saturday, the time frame that we're monitoring that. And the thinking is that the majority of our severe weather chances probably do stay back to our south and west, back out there into, Jackson, toward Greenville. But ultimately, it's possible this eventually expands northward toward us more as we head into your Sunday. Still no official risk area by the Storm Prediction Center for Sunday yet, but we do expect, I think, as we get closer, that one will probably at least extend through central and south Mississippi and possibly locations south of the Golden Triangle. This evening, though, first 12, it is just gorgeous conditions here. We're 56 degrees, as you can see. We'll get towards 6 p.m., 47 by 9, 43 as we head toward midnight, and down to around 38 tomorrow morning. That is going to be a little bit warmer than today, but still just a hint of a cool feel to those conditions. Right now, coming in at 67 degrees in Belzona, about 63 in Greenville. We're right at 63 here in the Amory area. I have a jacket because in the shade, just a hint cool out there, and 59 in Red Bay, 57 degrees there in Iuka. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, Mama Justice Doppler here, completely clear other than a few high, thin clouds in and around our region at this point in time. You got to go a lot wider to start to see some of the components that are coming into play with this. Certainly high pressure to the north, what's keeping us clear and dry. Any snowfall, again, none of that in the forecast anytime soon. It's one of those things. I think we are going to keep beating this drum a little bit. I know the internet forecasters are like, we're going to have a second round of winter. Have we had a second round of wintry precipitation? No, we have not. But what we are watching is that chance possibly for more thunderstorms. Now, we do think that we will probably have some of those from this storm system. I got to go all the way back here southwest toward, locations south of California there. This storm system, a long ways away now, but it will be here, I think, by Sunday. And that has shifted our timing slightly deeper into Sunday as we look toward the latter part of the weekend. I think we're more likely to possibly have some issues eventually then. But in the near term, again, clear and dry for this evening. Certainly Futurecast keeping us clear into tonight as we have, again, the mostly clear skies. And so that does have us dropping fairly quickly temperature-wise. No precipitation out there as we're still well ahead of any of those different disturbances that we are tracking. Again, only some partly cloudy skies with this, and even then, that might be overstating things just a little bit. As we head toward tomorrow morning, we're showing up again about 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Just some fairly thin clouds. No precipitation with that. Mainly high thin clouds is still at that point in time. Your next 24, keeping it dry on your Friday. We're 38 degrees at 6 a.m., 63 as we look toward noontime, and 66 as we head toward tomorrow afternoon. Our winds fairly light. Those southerly winds, they will eventually start becoming a little bit stronger, and that will be one of the factors that eventually leads to some of those rain and storm chances. In 60 seconds, we're going to talk about our threat confidence on this upcoming storm event here, which for many of us will not be a storm event, as I think most of us should be sub-severe as far as active weather is concerned. As you can see behind me here, it is not truly opening day, but opening the public day here at the softball facility here at Amory High School. Again, recovering from the tornado back in 2013, and they are just so excited to show off these beautiful facilities. We'll take a little bit of a look around here as Mississippi Live Weather continues from the Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
Game day brings its ups and downs, celebration and disappointment, anxiety and relief, friends and enemies. You can always argue over who should have won, but everyone can agree on great food. Appetizers, entrees, drinks, party platters, or even the taste of sweet victory. There's something for every season at Eat With Us restaurants.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
By the time you see the symptoms of lung cancer, it could be too late. Now there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early. If you smoked, get scanned.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Well, we are live here in Amory at the new softball facility here. For a high school, this is a spectacular facility. And it's just an opportunity this evening for the folks here to celebrate what has been a very long rebuilding process over the course of the last couple of years here. I mean, you have to think that tornado back in March of 2023, of course, devastating so many parts of this city here, and it has been a long recovery. The part of Amory that I'm in here, does not look anything like, and tree-wise, what it previously did. So, still a lot of those, hesitate to use the word wounds, but let's be clear, to a certain extent, that is what it is. Still do remain somewhat raw for folks, even a couple years later, but it is so nice. Hey, sorry, they're waving at me. Oh, wave back, we'll show y'all. It's so nice to have those kind of smiles coming back, because this has been a process, and there are things to celebrate. And certainly this softball facility is one of those. We'll look at the baseball facility as well coming up here in a couple of minutes. But just kind of a beautiful day to do this here in Monroe County. 60 degrees current temperature. It feels like 60. A very, very light northerly wind at this time out there on. Again, I just love the fact the sun's staying up later. That's one of those factors that you will always hear me talking about and raving about, because I just love it. There. Hey, y'all. Again, a lot of good folks out here, and appreciate Mama Justice. Those great folks there helping us to sponsor our Mississippi Live Doppler radar there, keeping us clear and dry, not just here, but across the entire region. And temperatures coming in the upper 50s in Red Bay. If you're venturing out this evening for one reason or another, I think you'll definitely need the jacket. Maybe coming down here to the ball field facilities. You get in the shade, it's cool. I'm up here in the sun, I'm warm again. So that time of year, right? Which is it? Which does it decide to be? Well, I think that lack of humidity, again, will make sure that tonight we do cool off considerably well. As you can see here, Futurecast keeping us still low 60s over the course of the next couple of hours, dropping back by tomorrow morning, though, into the upper 30s. We're going 38 degrees in Tupelo, 37 degrees in the folks down there in Houston, New Albany at 38 degrees. Again, this under what are primarily, mostly clear skies for tonight. So just no no real insulation out there. That's one of the things that kind of limits that drop in temperatures at this point. So starting off 39 doesn't last that cool that long. As you can see, there were 48 degrees by around 9 a.m. and temperatures probably heading back there into the mid 50s as we head toward midday, around 63 degrees. I mean, you could argue for maybe just a little bit of a chill to the wind, but not much of one as we are again, obviously still kind of warmer than we should be for this time of year. Normal highs in the upper 50s. So as you can see, the fact we're in the mid 60s for tomorrow, that will certainly make a difference on keeping it warmer into the afternoon as well. It's only really a few passing clouds out there. Temperatures for highs, if we go city by city through some of those on your Friday, we're 66 degrees in Tupelo, 67 in Amory. We're 70 in Greenwood, Belzona at 70 degrees. Our normal for this time of year, again, in the upper 50s. So we're about 8 to 10 degrees above what we typically would expect for this date in February. Hard for me. I had to double check that in my brain again. This is February. That's how warm we are. I mean, certainly we started the month where we were expecting that. And speaking of, a February holiday, we have one coming up, obviously, for Saturday. And I think things are looking a little bit better. Now, we're going to have some showers, as you can see, around early in the day there, 45 that temperature, as you can see there. In the morning, we're going to about 53 degrees by 9 a.m. or so. Some scattered showers, all mainly light. So hopefully that means most of your plans on Saturday end up dry. I kind of pick at Gabe Maynard because his thing for a while was picnic baskets and doing picnics. Um, Lunchtime might be a little tricky for that if you're super sensitive, and certainly a picnic would be one of those locations, one of those, I guess, activities where you could be. But other than that, this is all fairly light, and we are not expecting these showers and storms to be strong anytime on your Saturday. So if we were to see stronger thunderstorms, it's Saturday night, and really it's early Sunday morning, becomes more of a likelihood for us to see some of that. So let's talk about that for a moment. Our confidence as far as severe weather threats this weekend, similar to what we had yesterday. We're thinking that a tornado threat, not impossible down closer to the coast, but I think that's, again, probably more the exception to the rule even there. Wind gusts, that's something of greater concern because, again, you don't need, I think, 65, 70 mile per hour wind gusts to bring down tree branches in places that were hit so bad by the ice storm. I think there's some that are just kind of dangling there, and there's going to be a lot that falls. So I think even with what most of us will probably have 35, 40 mile per hour wind gusts, that's enough to knock down some tree branches. Certainly the ones that are already partially detached. I think a limited hail threat, certainly better for locations back out there into Texas and back into Louisiana more so than for us. And that flash flooding threat, one that we are going to have to watch the potential for here in a minute. So let's kind of walk here through your futurecast. As you can see here, futurecast showing those scattered showers and thunderstorms toward 3 a.m. early Sunday morning here. Okay, so looking at this, first thing that picks out to me, yeah, I do have some individual thunderstorms kind of right ahead of a main line, but mostly I think the concentration is very close to the primary line. And when you look at this, this is pretty underwhelming in the best way possible. We're upper 50s, what I show for temperatures early Sunday morning. Again, that means we haven't tapped into the most unstable air. But I think if you went just south of where this map shows up, to locations down into central Mississippi, South Mississippi, I think it's much more likely that we're probably going to have the potential for a few stronger thunderstorms there. I think for most of us, this is primarily maybe 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts, and that's about it. Not impossible to have a little bit more than that, though. And as we go into your Sunday afternoon, still a few showers wrapping around. Not impossible to get a small hailstone because of the cold core nature of this upper level system. From time to time, you have a few little hailstones in that. I don't think that's necessarily what most of us will see, but not an impossibility out of this. And most of the thunderstorms of significance probably down south of us. But that warm front is farther north. That means unstable air slightly farther north. So again, still trying to wrestle with our thinking on that part of this storm system, but we expect it to be drier and cooler behind it as we head into the first part of next week. So again, looking to Monday, I think we're dry, and I'm probably into maybe Tuesday as well. More on that extended forecast here in the next couple of days. But you certainly looking at your day planner there. We're 66 for your Friday. Again, our Mississippi Live Game of the Week presented by KC Lott is basketball. We're going to be the girls' game there. We're going to be out in East Union, still waiting to see exactly which teams I think they play this evening, so we'll be able to nail down which that is. The girls on that game, we're excited about that. And it looks like, if you're planning on heading to one of the SEC baseball games, we'll be showing that forecast coming up at 6 o'clock for you. But looking just kind of on the wide shot here at the next couple of days, certainly the rain chances there for the weekend. But as we kind of discussed last night, I do think we're probably going to have to kind of flip around those rain chances by the latter part of the weekend there, simply because of that timing extending, I think, more deeply into Sunday. But beyond that, we're dry looking at next week. One of the ways you can tell that is simply looking at the low temperatures. In fact, they're back into the upper 40s there, kind of one of those signs that certainly we're a lot cooler, and that means a lot drier air eventually on the way in by then. Again, we're live here in the Amory area. We're next to the high school essentially, and we're here at the ball fields. This is, again, brand new look, first look for you at the new stadium here for softball, which is just, it's incredible. And I wish I'd had my full-on microphones. Give me a second here. I'm going to see if this will let me change it, because I'm going to ask this young lady over here how she feels about it. So give me just a moment to change my microphone. Okay, so I got to know.
Okay.
Can I put you on camera? So
Yes, you can.
Okay. So what do you think?
I think it's really cool. Amazing.
So what year are you?
2030.
20, hold on, 23. What year is that? So you're a freshman?
I'm an eighth grader.
Eighth grader? Okay.
Sir.
Okay. So you're going to get to play all the way through on this field.
Yes, sir.
What? Okay. So you've been watching it. You've been practicing, and I think you remember what was here before. This is pretty spectacular, right?
It is. Yes.
But what does it mean to you?
I think it really means that people really care about our sports and about Amory and all that, and they've all came together to help us get there.
So have you always been from Amory?
Yes, sir, I have.
So did you imagine you have a scoreboard that has an actual video board on it?
I didn't think we would have that
That's
until after the tornado. I know that.
So you mentioned the tornado. I mean, it's got to be an odd feeling knowing that without that this wouldn't exist. But have to go through that. Can you tell me your story?
I was really just very shocked whenever I heard that it got hit by a tornado, like the whole Amory school and everything. And people were saying it was gone and all that. It was very sad for a long time because it took everything for people to get cleaned up, and all their homes got destroyed and everything. So
Yeah, but it's nice to see it like this today,
yes,
right?
Yes.
What was your name?
Aniston Carson.
Aniston Carson. Thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate it. So yeah, it's a great evening here. Got to check out the softball field first, and we'll see if we can take a look over there at the baseball field coming up at 6 o'clock. Where are we at in time? Yeah, 5:17. I'll try to get there, and we might get the microphone out actually. Interview some folks here. Again, our next live broadcast is going to be coming up at 6 p.m. here in the Room to Room Weather Center. We'll be looking at that forecast, not just for our game of the week, a SEC football forecast, and breaking down, again, the latest on our Storm Finder. Our meteorologist Gabe Maynard back in the studio will have a good look at Storm Finder, as well as our triple threat exclusives you'll find only here on Mississippi Live Weather, so that we can kind of talk through all of the chances that we have for severe weather. But I'd say largely most of those chances should hopefully stay to our south. But we'll be breaking it down and showing you the latest on that coming up at 6 p.m.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes, and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.